The evening folds into gold as I stand near the balcony, the sea's lullaby echoing softly beneath the distant stars. My heart, bound in velvet and formality, beats to a rhythm known only to dreams. How quietly a wish can grow when nourished by silence. I speak not as heir nor as daughter of kings, but as the young woman within, a girl whose soul quivers at the thought of forever. If love could breathe within these palace walls, it would come softly, like moonlight on marble, unnoticed but eternal. The world sees the silver gleam of the crown, yet they never feel the hush of my solitude. They do not know how my hands tremble at night, not from fear but from the ache of wondering who will touch my soul as tenderly as I cradle my duty. I do not search for a fairy tale, nor a warrior. I seek a soul who sees past my titles, who hears my voice when it's no louder than a whisper, who finds me in the quiet and chooses to stay. That is the touch of forever I crave. He would not bow to my lineage, but to my laughter, to the way I observe clouds changing shape and call them by name. Perhaps he would come from a world unlike mine, unfamiliar with protocols, unaware of the chill that runs down spines trained for diplomacy, and maybe that is why he would see me, really see me, without script, without expectation. In his eyes I would not be a princess rehearsed in speeches and charity, but simply a girl who reads poetry by candlelight and dreams of apple orchards. The court may call me distant, but they cannot fathom the dreams that bloom in private. The scrolls I study speak of treaties and triumphs, but my heart writes verses no law could govern. Would it be so treasonous to love, not out of alliance or arrangement, but for the symphony another soul stirs within me? I do not ask to escape my crown, only to share it with someone who values the voice behind it. If love is a rebellion, then let my heart be its gentle uprising, and may it echo until it reaches the one meant for me. My hands have held the sword of training and the parchment of study, but they have not yet held love. They have not brushed against another with trembling hope, with that sacred anticipation that blooms before the first embrace. I wonder how it feels. Does the world quiet when you find them? Do duties dim and names disappear? I imagine us in secret gardens, away from heralds and courtiers, where titles crumble and hearts speak. He would not flinch from my destiny, but walk beside it, never behind. His strength would be in patience, his valor in kindness. I would offer him no crown, only honesty. In that space between silence and song, I would say, I have lived for a nation, but I ache to live for a moment with you. I would not hide the weight I carry, but let him lift it, if only slightly. In return I would give him my truth, the raw and unpolished self beneath protocol. That is where the touch of forever begins, not in gold, but in the soft places we rarely show the world. Every morning the mirror reflects more than my features. It reveals the girl who is learning to balance between expectation and essence. Behind the royal posture lies the desire to love without boundaries. I do not envy the lives of common youth, but I do admire the way they fall in love recklessly, without negotiation. They meet, hearts crash, and somehow the world permits it. But for me, every glance is measured, every interaction guarded by protocol. What if I one day meet someone whose presence makes the crown feel light? Would I be allowed to love him, to choose him, not as a diplomat, but as a girl in awe of his spirit? These questions build kingdoms within me, and I roam them when no one watches. He might be reading this poem now, unaware that it was meant for him, or perhaps he feels the pull too, a prince of no country, but of deep feeling. When our paths cross, will the universe pause for us? I will know him not by name, but by the way his presence quiets my storms. There are days when I believe that love is not for me, that my role has already been married to duty, that my heart is not mine to offer, yet then the breeze will carry a song, or a child will laugh, and something inside me stirs. Hope, gentle but persistent. I begin to wonder again, to believe. If love is fate, then let mine be gentle and slow, like wine aged in shadow growing bolder with time. I will not rush it, nor will I run. I will simply be open, steady, listening for that rhythm that matches my own. In the quiet garden of my spirit, I plant verses and each one waits for him. I was here, I will say, and I dreamed of you before I knew your name. And when he comes, perhaps he will smile and say, I too dreamed of the girl behind the crown, whose words danced like dandelions across my chest. That moment will need no witness, no fanfare, only breath, only presence, and that I believe is the quiet architecture of forever. I have learned that silence holds power. In silence I have wept, laughed, hoped and healed. In silence I have imagined him, my future love, not in grandeur, but in gestures. The way he speaks to animals, the way he notices when my smile isn't whole, the way he listens with his eyes. I do not wish for perfection. I want flaws that mirror mine, vulnerability that invites truth. I wish to walk beside someone who understands the loneliness of being seen, yet misunderstood. With him the world's gaze would no longer feel intrusive, because I would have one person who sees only me. Let others debate politics and protocol. Let them plan banquets and rehearsals. I will memorize his laugh, his handwriting, the way he says my name, like it was written in the stars for him alone. This is not weakness. This is yearning carved in honesty. For what is power, if not the courage to love fully, without armor? If I am to reign, let me reign with love that is felt even in the silence between words. When I walk through history halls, I feel the echo of ancestors who ruled with wisdom, others with war. They are portraits now, adorned in velvet, eyes frozen in legacy. I do not wish to be another face in a gilded frame. I want to live love, error, and grow. My name will be remembered, but what of my soul? I want it to be remembered too, not for what I wore, or what I governed, but for whom I loved, and how. I want to be the queen who once wrote poems beneath moonlight, whose heart never hardened in marble. My love will not be scandal, it will be story, a tale of quiet defiance, of choosing emotion in a world that prizes restraint. The touch of forever, to me, is not a kiss in public, or a union forged by treaty. It is a look across a room, a note tucked inside a book, a presence that feels like home. If that is rebellion, then may my reign be wrapped in roses and rebellion alike. I do not fear the future, though it looms like a mountain whose peaks I cannot yet see. I fear only the possibility that I might forget what it means to feel, that in learning to lead, I might unlearn how to love without pause. But I will not let that happen. I will write, speak, love, even in shadows if I must. There is nobility in quiet passion, in devotion unseen. I do not need a lover who can win kingdoms for me. I need one who will wait while I speak to crowds, and hold me in the silence after. Someone whose touch steadies the trembling girl behind the sovereign. He may never be announced by trumpet, never dressed for coronation, but he will be the man my soul chose in secret, long before I wore any crown. That is the kind of forever I believe in, not immortalized in monuments, but in shared glances, in fidelity when no one watches, a love that does not need proof, only presence. If my people could see my heart, would they still call me their future queen, or would they simply see a young woman, aching for someone to hold her hand without agenda? It is strange, this duality, belonging to millions, yet yearning to belong to one. My every move is rehearsed, but my dreams are unscripted. I am not ashamed of this desire. It is not weakness to want to be loved. It is strength to seek it when the world would rather you hide it. And when he finally comes, I will not offer him a throne, but a promise to love him with all the depth royalty could never teach me. I will bring him into my life gently, protecting what we build from the noise of the outside. For when love is true, it doesn't shout, it stays, steady, sure, and unseen. That is the touch of forever, not in diamonds or declarations, but in the quiet resilience of two hearts choosing each other again and again.